What is going on? Everyone, welcome back to another episode of my channel, where today we are taking a look at the Mafia. One family, countless graves. This is one of the most popular Mafia games ever made. So if you have never heard about it or played it, I'm going to tell you all about it. And since I'm so nice like that, I also included a gameplay walkthrough for each day, so you can see how everything plays out. If you want to play it yourself, I will leave a link to this game in the description below. It's free. You can just download it and play it on your computer. Enjoy the video. Alright guys, so before we start, I just wanted to say thank you for 200,000 subscribers, and I hope you enjoy this special episode for you guys. Let's begin. So first things first, the main idea behind Mafia. The game is that you play as a gangster during the Prohibition era in the United States. As I said, this is one of the most popular Mafia games ever made. So even though it doesn't look that good graphically because it was released in 2002, it still has a huge community behind it. But enough about that. Let's get into the actual game. The game starts with you playing as two characters, as Paul and as Vito. So right off the bat, there are two stories going on here. So both characters have their own separate storyline. You don't play as both characters at the same time. You basically control one character during the daytime and when nighttime comes. You either go to sleep or hang up, and then you control the other character. When you wake up, or when the night comes for that character, they are both mobsters who are working for the same family, but from different generations. So basically you start out the game as Paul, and he gets framed for a crime he didn't commit by his boss's son. So the only way out for him is to run away from the city and get some help from an old friend who lives in another city. So that's where you come in. Your job is to get to that other city. You can do whatever you want until you get there, and then your friend will help you out. So that's where the first part of the game starts. After a while, you meet up with your friend who you asked for help, and then you have to kill the son of your boss. Now, there are many ways to kill him, but I will spoil nothing. You can decide on that yourself. So after you take care of the boss's son, you basically get to decide what happens next. So you can either go back home and retire, or stay there and rise through the ranks of the new local family. There is also a third option, which is to start your own gang and take over the entire city. But yeah, these are the three decisions you have to make at the end of this part of the game. What you choose determines your ending. But now let us talk about the second part of the game, which is where you play as Vito. He is an older gangster who runs a very successful business empire. His business empire is being threatened by a rival gang, and that gang happens to be led by the son of the boss you had to kill earlier in the game. So basically you play as Vito and try to take down the rival gang. As I said, there are many ways to go about doing this, and you can pretty much do anything you want. You can use guns, explosives, fire, knives, blunt objects, etc. And there are also some really cool cinematic finishing moves you can do. But yeah, again, spoiler alert, I'm not going to tell you how to do it. You can figure that out yourself. Once you eliminate the threat to your businesses, you once again get to decide what happens next. You can either keep running your criminal empire, or you can retire and live the rest of your days peacefully. So those are the endings for the second part of the game. You have 3 possible endings in total, and they all depend on the choices you make. But yeah, that's the basic story behind this game. I'm not gone, I tell you more than that, because I do and want to spoil it for you guys. So now, let's move on to the gameplay. Alright, so here we are in the main menu. First thing I want to show you is how to set up a new game. So all you need to do is click on New Game, pick the difficulty level, and whether you want to play as Paul or as Vito. Then just click on Start. I will be playing as Paul in this first scenario, so I will just click on Paul and Start. Now you can actually pick a name for your character. You can name him whatever you want, doesn't matter. We'll just call him Paul. Alright, so now the game has started. So you can see our health and our wanted level are up here. Our money is down there, and our weapon is always displayed on the bottom left corner. Now this is a top-down Mafia game, which means you can drive cars, shoot people, and do all sorts of stuff from this camera angle. Which I gotta say is really cool because you can sneak up on people from behind and stab them in the neck without them even knowing what happened. That's really fun to do. So yeah, the main idea of this game is to complete missions which will be given to you by your bosses. But the better you do in those missions, the higher your rank is going to be. You can become a soldier, a lieutenant, a captain, a boss, and eventually you can become the Don of the family. Now, as I said, there are 2 storylines in this game, and when you play as Paul, you will notice that your mission list is constantly changing. It's because you have to complete certain missions in order to unlock others. So when you complete a mission, you might get some new ones, and then when you complete those, you might get some more. It's kind of like a chain reaction. Now, this game is not linear at all. There are so many side quests and other activities you can do. Besides missions such as fighting, racing, golfing, bowling, buying and selling cars, robbing stores, killing people for money, and so on. So there is a lot to do in this game, and you have a lot of freedom. You can pretty much do whatever you want whenever you want. Alright, so now we are done talking about the first part of the game. Let's fast forward this a bit, because I want to spend too much time on the first part. Okay, so this is the second part of the game where you play as Vito, as you can see. The gameplay looks almost identical, but now you have a different set of missions and of course a different storyline. So yeah, let's fast forward this a bit as well. Okay, so this is the last mission of the game. All you have to do is go to this bar here and then enter it, so let's do that. Now, all you have to do is wait for the cutscene to play out. So let's wait. Okay, so now we have reached the final decision of the game. As you can see, we have three options here. You can either return home, retire, or expand the business. If you want to know what happens in each ending, I suggest you play the game and find out yourself. So that's the end of the game. And yeah, I think that's everything you need to know about it. So if you enjoyed the video, if you liked it, I would appreciate it if you gave it a big thumbs up. Also, remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you again for 200,000 subscribers. I will see you all next time. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.